Appreciate you.
It will, in case this
All right,
happens
guys.
again, it will be set up for later.
Awesome. All right, guys, welcome back. We should be live on both now, YouTube and Twitch. So wherever you're watching at, we're happy to have you back. Thank you for hanging out with us. I'm going to go ahead and post up. If somebody wants to broadcast out that we are back into both channels, and I will do the same thing where I can. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we left off. The party was resting for the evening, and we're about to make their way back towards Lanceport. A long journey back to Lanceport.
Sorry, what did we do with the hag child?
Long story short, Zine crushed it.
Good.
Zine killed it.
Good.
Yeah, I'm surprised his plan worked, but it was essentially he summoned a hag, take the child. Arneth gave the child to the hag, which was right next to Zine, dismissed the hag, and then got to the hag baby before Arneth.
So, proud of you.
Everybody had a midlife crisis.
Yeah, everybody had a crisis on that one. Zine's sitting there just like, hag.
Yeah. I'm good. I'm caught up.
All right. So, party is making its way. You wake the next morning. Callista, did you want to take last watch and still be separate from everyone else, especially since Zine is now there? All right, good deal. You wake up first, or of course you really want to wait. Doff your hat. Don your hat, not doff.
Mm-hmm.
Don your hat and wake everyone up and set up breakfast. Everyone eats and you rise. A lot more sun is pouring out on the Delta today, and the cold swamp that you dealt with the day before has been given away to a more warm and humid feeling.
I'll attune to spring.
Okay. Are there any preparations you'd like to make before you set out on your way?
Sorry.
They're excited.
They heard adventure and they wanted to go.
Considering one of them is named Raider. Yeah, and that's the one that's barking. Zine will go grab his staff, pull it up, and dismiss the wall.
All right. The wall of thorns collapses. Did you roll for your charges?
I
roll your charges?
Do that, yes.
Go ahead and do that.
Arneth is trying to figure out the best way to carry the heavy thing. Tell me the name of it one more time.
It's just an amulet. Are you talking about the amulet?
Yes.
Okay. So I have 9 charges now.
Just an amulet.
Like the most efficient way to carry it.
Around your neck.
Like a purse. Just...
Why not put it in Lucky's bag of holding?
Is that what it is? Can we
Kinda.
fit it in there?
I was about to say, is the amulet visible at any point?
I mean, it's not invisible. It's been visible this whole time.
Okay.
It's about that big around.
It's real heavy.
Design is...
It is not pretty. It looks like an apprentice's work at making an amulet.
Oh, yeah.
But as you can watch, you see like a misshapen face, its mouth open in a cry, swirls from one side and back down to the other. So it's like...
Would he be aware that this is one of the things he's searching for?
Give me...
I think Arneth is just gonna keep carrying it.
Give me a...
Like a Flava Flav clock.
Give me a knowledge... Give me a history check.
History.
Yeah.
And I'm going to guidance myself because reasons.
I say because I know you're real good at those.
Yeah, +2. Apparently I am.
You know that one of the items is... and you know that it was in this area. That's the reason why you were there.
He'll
You-
pause, look at it. Was that all he learned? Or all he knows, right?
Yeah, because what the Archdruid knew was years of study. I mean, like centuries of study and finding these things.
Mhm.
So you haven't had that much time.
But he's giving like a sort of interested look to the
Ernest is just gonna be like, I don't appreciate you staring.
Is that the one where he's looking at it and his tongue comes up and licks his eyelid, licks his eyeball? Back in his mouth?
No.
Are you staring at my friend's titties? These are my
freakish.
I'm staring at the amulet. Actually.
That was an awkward pause. I'm staring at the.
Amulet.
Yeah, I saw what you were doing, and then my brain just like unfused for a second, and I had to re-engage it.
What the fuck is he doing? Oh.
Yeah.
It's like trying to grind the gear whenever you forget to put the clutch in. All of a sudden.
That's really what happened. Like it's like
Well.
You had asked a question? Or you said you were staying at the amulet?
yeah, he said he was.
Hmm.
Very familiar path lies in the way that you go. Heading back towards Adalar, then going north to Reedsong, and then heading west to Lanceport. Very familiar path by this point in time, because you've only made it 2 or 3 times now. As
3 sounds right.
Yeah. As you march through the day, the marsh eventually gives way. The delta gives way to low grasslands. There's not much in the way of growth there. A lot of scrub grass, and it's pretty much open terrain. Here and there, you see signs of life from like plains-based creatures, such as like sage chickens or grouse, prairie dogs, things like that here and there. This area is wide and open, and in the later parts of the spring and the summer, you get the idea that this would be a lot more lush, but right now it's kind of gray and brown. As you continue to walk, no real discernible path, just kind of a general direction, thanks to the ranger who knows that's north, this is west, we need to kind of go this direction. You make your way through the plains, cutting through there most of the way. You see the mountains rising off in the distance to your right as you continue on. Eventually, you find yourselves with the sun now in your eyes. You tuck your head down, walking all day long, trudging and plodding through this barren landscape. There's not much to see in the way of life. And eventually, you all realize that you're going to have to take a rest. Now, the Hero's Feast is, of course, long worn off by now. You set up camp again for the night. Who is taking first wash?
First wash.
First wash. Second wash?
Say, Zion will probably take the one that's in the middle. Well, no. Which one would be best for a cold-blooded creature to take to rescue?
I'll take third.
Okay.
That's what I'm trying to decide.
Do you want to do 4 watches? You can. Because I think, if at all possible, Callista would like to take the last watch.
I think, yeah, Zion will probably take the first, so he can just sort of like sunbathe.
Okay. First
Find a
watch
rock,
is
perch
owned
on
by
it.
you. As you are resting for the night, who is on first watch? I need a perception check from you, please.
Is Ricky.
Okay. Off in the distance, you don't really see it, but you hear the beat of heavy wings. But you don't see any shadows cast against the night sky.
Mhm.
And it passes, and it seems to go away from you. So you don't really give it much of a thought.
Yeah.
Other than that, the rest of your watch goes without issue. Who's taking second?
I will.
Perception check from you.
Where did it go? There it is.
Okay. You have dark vision at 60 feet. Okay. You hear that of heavy wings a lot closer than you probably would like, but still far enough away that you can't see a shadow against the night sky. Who's taking third? Perception check, please. Towards the end of your watch, as you are getting ready to finally relieve, get up and take relief and have Callista watch for the last, you hear the sound of beating wings, heavy feathers beating against the night sky, and you feel it buffeted. You know that something is extremely close to your party now, but still far enough away. You turn your eyes and cast them up, and you see the shape of a large bird in the sky. At first, your attitude is, it's a large bird in the sky.
That's real big.
As you realize as you're watching it, it's big. No. It's huge. No. Holy Jesus. This thing is gargantuan, and it's swooping towards your party.
We're about to die.
It is not a surprise round because each time they had told you what they heard, it lowered the DC by a bit. So you can thank them for having that, but I do need everybody to go ahead. Initiatives. We're going to do this Theater of the Mind on the open map. Who are you waking up first?
Grimly is like asleep over his bag.
I'm just gonna start yelling. No, yelling to wake up, not just screaming.
Bird,
Even bird.
Wait, we don't have that.
Bird.
We don't have that feast thing anymore, right?
No.
No, you do not.
Figured.
It is long since passed.
Oh, whoa.
I am. Oof.
My rolls today. I have 13.
I am up and ready to kill.
There you go. Man, what is with your rolls? It's a good thing you get initiative. You get
Yeah.
advantage on your initiative. That would have sucked. All right, hang on just 1 second here, guys. Bear with me one moment.
It was the 13 was the first one.
Mhm. Yeah.
Let me try again. Got a 5.
You rolled a 5. Yeah, I tried again. You got a 5. That's just the suck.
Yeah.
All right. A gargantuan feathered creature flies down towards you, its wingspan stretching out further than your imagination can almost handle. Its beak gleams in the dark, and you can see that it would be strikingly beautiful if it weren't for the fact that it was so utterly fucking terrifying to see. I'm going to replace this token with this beautiful token right here. As this is what is swooping down at you right now.
Pretty feathers.
Great.
Oh,
Okay.
actually, it's gargantuan, which is 20 by 20, if I'm not mistaken. So there we go.
Great.
Big.
This is the fucking worst thing ever.
This, for those of you who are not familiar, is a rock.
Big bird.
This is the thing that I cast Featherfall on in 2nd edition, and then flung into a wall with Gust of Wind. It was one of the best things, and it was also where the DM looked at me and told me I was not allowed to play casters ever again in his campaigns.
I'll say, would Zion be aware that this is definitely not some form of beast? More than likely.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So I totally can't do like.
You are not turning into one of these things.
Oh no, I can't do like animal.
You cannot have this.
You wouldn't. I don't know. That being said, though, you can definitely try. Grimly, screaming awakens you, or not screaming, but an alarm wakens you. You look bleary-eyed to the sky to see a large bird swooping down at you.
Pretty feathers.
Yeah, sure, that's it right there.
I guess because it's flying, right? Towards us, I'll cast Gust of Wind.
Okay. It needs to give you a
strength save.
All right, what's my DC? Is it 16?
17.
17?
17.
Okay. Saving throws. Wow, that's not one of the ones that's there. That's interesting. Probably because he has a +9 to it. So, 23.
Okay, I guess. Fine. Yeah.
You watch as the feathers ruffle underneath its wings.
Now it's flying faster.
And all it does is seem to sweep its wings back and start to tuck them in as it starts to scream out of the sky at you. Is that your turn?
Yeah.
Okay. Get fear.
Fuck. I didn't pick.
No, rock.
I'm
lame.
God damn it.
What you doing?
Fuck. Literally.
Polymorph into a lobster.
See,
So it's
honestly,
a rock lobster.
I wish that's you're fucking fantastic. Never change, Steve. I was honestly hoping that I had polymorph, but here we are.
What you doing? What you doing? Yell at you're up after your final decision.
Right. I'm having a fucking panic attack, is what I'm doing.
I know.
And this is different from every other situation. Why?
Because we can get like mega dead.
Probably. But I need a decision. What are you doing?
I guess I'll cast this.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
I need a saving throw of what? I know it's
Dex.
dexterity, but what is the DC?
16.
He takes that 1 point of damage.
Yay!
Yay!
Oh dear.
Oh, this is stupid. Okay, as my bonus action, I'm going to I'm gonna inspire Gillet and say, "Come on, Gillet, punch that fucking bird in the face."
It's in the air, and it's probably about 50 feet from you right now.
It'll
I
get
can't
there
cast
eventually.
fist from here.
Muscle Wizard cast fist. What are you going to do? Throw something at him? Like the little person?
Please don't throw my baby.
I don't have that kind of strength, actually, so no.
That's true, you're more dexterity than...
Not anymore.
The dart flies up and easily woof to the side as the dart goes flying and then just drops off. You'd have had disadvantage on that anyways, but I'm gonna make you roll twice.
Well, then
because
I'm gonna go ahead and try again.
All right. This one looks like it sticks into it, but after a second you watch as it lodges out of the feathers, doing no harm to the bird.
I look at Yenfear, shrug.
You tried. You did great.
Shrug. All right. Sign.
Is it within 90 feet of us?
It is.
Confusion.
Okay, I need to give you what?
A wisdom save. A DC 16.
We're just gonna go through all the saving throws really quick.
Yeah.
We have to do strength.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
That's it.
okay.
Still screaming
19,
at you.
17, yeah. Okay, fair enough.
It's getting closer.
Yeah. I know what I'm going
I'm going to turn into a worm and disappear into the dirt.
No.
Polymorph everybody into worms and quickly get down. Wait, no, it's a bird. That's a horrible idea.
Yeah. As a bonus action, I'm going to use Shalaga on my staff.
Shillelagh.
That's
Okay.
it too. Shillelagh.
Shillelagh!
Shalaga. That's
Shalaga.
The best.
I like that.
That is
End of
actually
clips.
great.
Yeah.
I like that.
I like it.
All right,
I like that better.
Arneth.
I am going to try to be diplomatic. Because that always works out.
Hey, bird. So here,
Pretty bird.
You're beautiful. Please don't kill us.
Are you doing stupid animals?
Yeah.
Your spell has no effect.
Mm.
You're not sure if it's the intelligence,
Mm.
or more importantly, that maybe it's not a beast.
Well, okay. I think that's all I can do then.
so you're just cawing at nothing.
Because that was an action.
We have already established that kaka, and tuki tuki does not work.
Pterodactyl
All right.
screeching.
Is that your... That's even better. Is that your turn?
I love it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my action.
All right, cool. I want to do this. Let's make some quick changes here. I don't need to roll advantage toggle. Don't auto damage NPC information is fine. All right. As it swoops down, the very first thing it does is try to grab one of you in its talons. There are 6 of you now.
Are you gonna make us?
Front row in the map is 1, 2, 3. Back row is 4, 5, 6. Okay.
Can I just say I'm small and now I'm nervous?
That's right. That's right. You should be.
Oh no!
He's so small, he should miss the grab.
I
A 27 to hit you, to grab you.
Oh God, yeah, sure.
Oh dear.
Listen, I gotta go.
You did.
I gotta go.
No, you don't. No, you don't. Don't punk out on me now. You shouldn't think of it as. Oh no, it has me. Now
I'm gonna
you're
touch
stuck
your
with
little
me.
feet. I'm gonna fucking chew on one of his talons. I swear to God.
All right, you take 17 slashing damage. You are grappled. As it claws, you watch as it strikes the dirt where Grimly is, and as the foot lifts away, Grimly is not there. You see little feet kicking out from between the claws of the creature. As it snakes down, its beak strikes out to strike one of you. I'm going to do minus Grimly, so it's going to be 1, 2, and then 3, 4, 5. Okay?
Fucking can't.
Because I'm not going to strike you while you're in its claws. 1, 2, 3, 4. Gillet. It is going to try to bite you with its beak. Beak attack. 16.
Does not hit.
The beak strikes the ground, leaving a giant furrow in the dirt. You watch as clods of dirt go flying as it swoops back up into the sky.
Bye.
Right.
Bye. I had a great time.
It is entering and leaving threat range. because its fly speed is 120 feet. It's diving you and leaving again. Everybody around it, because it's gargantuan, you guys would all get an attack of opportunity against it. So you may feel free to take those if you'd like to.
You bet your bottom dollar.
That is your reaction. The only person that can't do it is Grimly because he's grappled by the thing.
You can use spells and stuff, right?
No.
If you have the warp,
unless you have Warcaster.
Oh, okay.
You do not.
Don't you have a crossbow?
I do.
You can melee attack. So your sword.
Sword, okay.
Chief, you have sharpshooter, don't you?
Yeah.
Okay.
That
hits.
That, but I don't actually. I have close quarter shooter.
Okay. Does that allow you to use your bow as a reactionary? Because generally reaction types are... Okay, no, you couldn't use your bow as your reaction because it's within melee. You have to quickly boom. Yeah, you can use your sword though. Quickly draw your sword and strike it. All right. Everybody hit. Go ahead and give me damage. Let's see. We've got 26 and 6 is 32 and 9. So 41 points of damage. Awesome. And that is its turn as it swoops up into the air, diving 50 feet, grabbing Grimly, and then swooping 60 feet back up in the air on the other side of you.
My baby!
He takes 10 feet to circle back around before ready to dive back on you again. Callista, it is your turn.
Okay.
Okay.
That's the best. Okay.
yeah.
Like, drop him. Whatever.
Fucking, I don't give a shit.
Are you a dinosaur?
I give a shit.
That's cute.
I give a shit. I give a shit too.
Me personally.
I'm wearing my dinosaur onesie because fuck the cold. Okay. She is going to yell at the top of her lungs, "Give me back my goblin!"
Nice.
Okay, so dexterity saving throw for half. Okay.
And to not be set on fire.
And to not be set on fire. Okay.
Am I gonna be set on fire?
Yeah.
No.
No. Just
Okay.
that creature.
Okay. Breathing.
Okay.
Good.
Alright, so he takes 29 damage and he's on fire.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
And you need one of these.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Damn it. I'll do more with that. I'll start making you do it when I want you to. Alright. Because it does say I can. Alright. Is that your turn? Anything else you want to do?
Sorry, I'm just double checking what the information for immolation was. I'm going to expend 2 sorcery points to make Ray of Frost a bonus action.
Oh. Okay, go ahead and roll to attack. Good choice.
And I'm going to use Tides of Chaos.
All right. Is that including your Tides of Chaos?
Mm-hmm.
That will hit. Oh, that's right. It gives you advantage on it. Sorry. Forgot.
Yep.
So he has reduced his movement by 10 feet, if I'm not mistaken?
Yep.
Awesome.
Till the start of
All
my
right.
turn.
You point a finger carefully, aiming, and this little blue-white beam shoots from your fingertip, slamming into the creature. You hear it from even this distance, the of ice cascading around its wings, impeding its ability to fully extend the flaps. So you watch as it slowly turns in the sky. Not falling, but it's just slowed down.
She reiterates her, give me back my goblin.
Back my goblin. All right, Grimly, it is your turn.
Turn my goblin to me.
I want you to inflict wounds at the highest level you can while you're 70 feet in the air, please.
Okay.
It's only 76.
It's fine.
You also have a druid that can shapeshift and catch you.
That's true. Okay, he is small. I was either that or I wanted to cast Insect Plague because you said I could have bees, right?
Yes.
Not the bees!
Alright.
Oh!
Release the bees.
I was seriously hoping.
Lovely. That
Oh,
You
man.
cast that at the highest level you possibly can.
I was joking when I said it, but yeah, whatever level you want to
What
cast
high
it at.
level spell can I have?
Damn, bitch, chill.
Look at your spell sheet. Yeah, I believe 5 is the highest you can have.
Let me down.
Let go.
Release me.
Okay, and another 25 points of damage. All right, is that your turn?
Yeah.
As you
Cap,
strike out,
Cap,
wrapping
you
your hands.
You did count the upper section of damage too, right?
Yeah, I counted all of it.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a
How
total
much
of
damage is
47. It's 48 in the first, and then 25 in the second one, so a total of 73 points of damage.
Okay,
Well
I just want to
done.
be sure. I didn't hear you mention the first one, and I just heard 25. So
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah,
most
no,
damage
it
I've ever done in my entire life.
Yeah, you just rolled out with a lot of damage there. As you wrap your hands around the thick, scaly feeling claw that's wrapped around your body, and you just kind of give a little squeak. You watch as gray tendrils of energy wrap around the claw and interlace themselves in the scale of the talon and arc up its body. It quickly gives the arm a shake with you in it, kind of rattling you around, but it seems to just
Brain tingling.
Yeah. It seems to just continue to hold on to you.
Mm.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yenfir, it's your turn.
Well, how high is this bird again?
It's 70 feet in the air.
I thought it was 60.
Oh, yeah, that's right. 60 because it's spun using 10 feet to spin around you.
I was gonna say Ray of Frost would not have hit if it was 70.
It's 60. Mm-hmm.
What level? The
The useless shit I know.
I want to use.
Okay. So I need to give you wisdom saving throw.
Yes.
If I succeed, I take nothing. I like this plan. Yahtzee! Nope. So give me some damage there.
It's.
You clicked on the card as opposed to the spell from your attack sheet. So
I did.
if you want to try it again.
To my. You know what? We're just gonna do this.
At 5th level, it's actually going to be. Oh wait, your cleric's only 2nd level, so it's only a 2nd level spell. Because your cleric level is what it counts.
Yeah,
by.
but you're missing hit points.
Oh, no. I was talking about 2d12. Additional die for higher level is what I was counting.
Oh, okay.
See, read die at higher levels there.
Yeah.
I was trying to give you more damage.
Oh, okay.
All right. Yeah. There's a. How does the bell sound for you? Is it like a, or is it a?
Ye old church bells.
It's 12 o'clock, so it's clang, 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 clang. You feel the vibration as the bird shudders from the sound of the gonging bell. You watch as it kind of shakes its head. The noise seems to be ringing in the ear, in its ears. All right, is that your turn? Kill it.
I'd
It's
love
60
to,
feet
but-
in the air. What are you doing?
Well, I don't have a whole lot else to do other than basically throwing darts at it and hoping. So
Pull some Remo Williams shit and start climbing on the air.
Sir, I would like to inspire again.
Okay, feel free.
I inspire Gillet.
He already has your inspiration. He hasn't used it yet.
Oh, he hasn't used it. Oh, well,
I
I
have
would
not.
inspire.
it wouldn't have helped last time.
Wait a minute. Is there a range on it?
30 feet? Grab your player's handbook.
60 feet.
Is it 60 feet?
Yep.
Then yes. Yes, what you want to do can't happen.
Yay! I inspire
Grimly can
Grimly.
catch it. Grimly,
Come
you are
on.
inspired.
Kill that fucking bird.
Yeah.
Kill it, we'll catch you!
Please catch me. I'm just a small boy.
Under Gillet standing underneath the rock going,
Just like chasing him. Like I got it. Ah!
I can do this. It's all right. Also, in the meantime,
All right, you remember you. Oh, actually, you're at the very edge of the range. You do have disadvantage on it, so the first one misses. Give me another roll for the second dart.
all right.
Remember, you have disadvantage. And second one, and the first one goes arcing up just underneath, almost catching Grimly's feet. Falls back to the earth. The second one, you go to throw it, and like it gets caught on your like the tassel goes weird, and it just kind of and falls in the dirt.
Wow.
From over there, you hear.
You're doing great. I'm so proud.
I've
Fine.
been there, Gillet. I know how you feel.
Zine, seeing that this thing's
Actually-
swooped before,
Yeah, go
is
ahead.
looking to come for another pass.
Mhm.
He's gonna look at his right clawed hand and charge it with like black energy, and he's gonna hold his action
Okay. What is the trigger for your action?
when it gets within touch range.
Awesome. And what are you holding?
He's holding contagion.
Okay. Thank you very much. Arneth,
That's me.
it is you.
Gonna cast Hunter's Mark on it, and then try to shoot it out of the sky.
All right. Both of those will hit.
Give us our baby.
Give me back my baby.
You already took one baby.
Oh.
Give us the last baby.
All right.
This is just gonna become a thing, isn't it?
Yep.
They've already
Come
like.
back.
Ooh.
You can blame it all on Zine.
Oh.
So, funny story, real quick segue. I played Mutants and Masterminds. I had a redneck brick who was a real simple, honest fella, and he had a hammer. And the story was that he was amnesiac, but he was basically the incarnation of Thor.
Is that the
His
one
hammer-
that drew?
Yes, it is.
Nice.
His hammer was imbued with magic by one of his teammates, and in order for it to actually work, I had to sing some of the songs. One of them was "Baby Come Back," so I would throw the hammer, and then for it to come back, I would have to sing out loud, not in character, but as a player in character,
Wow.
a snippet of the song to have the hammer return to my hand. So that became a thing every weekend.
That's awesome.
That's fantastic.
All right. Arneth, anything else? Is your bonus action, your attack? Okay, cool. It's its turn.
Mhm.
Yeah, it dives on you all once again, but before it does, it uses a free action to do one thing. Open its
Launch.
hand.
Wait, is it diving and then dropping me? Like,
No,
I'm just
it
gonna...
drops you from the height that you're at, 60 feet, and then dives towards the party.
Now, is it...
You are falling 60 feet.
Oh,
Right
I was
now.
gonna say, is it faster diving than I am falling? Can I just grab its tail feather?
Considering it's gargantuan, I will give you a chance to try to grab at it. Sure.
I
Give me a
wanna...
dexterity save.
Okay.
Or dexterity check, I mean. Acrobatics if you have it. I won't even make you give me disadvantage. You're very small and it is very big.
Tiny baby boy. Dex?
Uh-huh.
Or acrobatics, you said?
Dexterity or acrobatics, depending on which one you have.
You do have inspiration.
do?
Mhm.
Would it make a difference? What do I roll?
You don't know. Roll 1d8. I believe it's a
1d8?
d8.
Thought it was 6.
Can it be an 8?
At 8th level, it should be a d8.
Oh, that's right. Well, that's why I've been holding back on using it. Now I feel like a moron.
That's just...
Well, that's on you, buddy.
Yep.
Just real quick.
I want
8th level, Bardic Inspiration becomes a d8 at 5th level, so yeah, it's d8.
I want to be unzippered.
You quickly catch one of its claws, and you're still holding on to it.
Yes, stop with me now!
Its hand is free, so it can still use the talent on another person. You
Okay.
just have a hold of its hand. Alright, so that's your reaction. Now it's going to dive the rest of the party, and here's where this gets fun.
And do I get my reaction now?
You will as soon as he does his, because it's he gets within range. Yours can go off. Go off.
Yeah.
Just go off.
Just go off, I guess.
Go off, I guess.
Does a 28 hit?
Puh. Yeah.
Okay, so he is a. I'll just go ahead and link it. It's a big page, but he is afflicted by flesh rot.
Disgusting.
Can I let go?
Yeah, now that he's in range, you can.
How high is he?
Can I catch Grimly?
He's like 10 feet off the ground.
Just fucking slam in like a fucking bowling.
Actually, he's only like 6 or 7 feet off the ground. You're fine. You won't take any damage.
Disregard that. Sorry, that was a misclick.
It's okay. So I need to wait. What? Do I take damage?
It's immediately affected by flesh rot, and it has to make 3 successful Constitution saves to shrug off the disease.
Do I need to make one right now?
At the end of each of its turns.
All right. So
if it fails 3 saves before it succeeds 3 saves, then it is afflicted with flesh rot for 7 days.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Starting at the top with Yenfir. 2 is Arneth. 3, Callista. 4, Gillet. 5, Dime. 1, 2, Callista.
It likes 3s.
It does like the 3s.
Yep.
And we're trading places.
26 to hit.
Freak.
As you are grabbed, you are no longer at the mercy of its beak. So, 1, 2, 3 being Grimly this time, 4 being Gillet, and 5 being Zine. It is Yenfir.
Rude.
The beak rolls a 17 to hit you.
Even ruder. Yes.
Does it? Okay, so Callista, you are going to take 22 slashing damage, and you are grappled in its talons. Yenfir, you take 22 piercing damage from the beak as it slams its face into you.
I didn't agree to that.
Constitution save or Constitution check?
Constitution saving throw.
I maintain the spell.
You do. All right.
Good! He needs to give me a dexterity saving throw.
And he is going to stand right on top of your group.
Okay.
He needs to give you a dexterity saving throw.
Yep.
At the end of his turn, he's going to give a dex saving throw for that. That is a failure.
He takes another 17.
And
actually, he takes 34.
What?
Contagion. He's afflicted by vulnerability to all forms of damage.
Holy
I like it.
shit.
I like
For
it.
at least 3 turns.
And a Constitution saving throw?
Yep.
That's actually ability check and not a con save or dex save, but oh well, whatever.
That's fucking disgusting, actually. Let's keep this guy around. We need him.
Constitution saving throw is a 16.
My DC is a 16.
So meets it, beats it. That one's successful.
Yeah, so he has 1 success.
All right. I don't think he's going to live to see another success or 2.
Mm-mm.
All right, Callista.
I love Contagion. It's such a fun
Contagion is
spell.
Nasty.
Wow.
You see all the viruses I can inflict with that spell?
Yeah, I saw that. That's why I was like, wait, what am I doing?
I am going to maintain immolation.
Okay.
And can I use Hellish Rebuke now?
Since it hit you, yeah. I mean, Hellish Rebuke is a reaction. You can immediately.
Okay, well, it needs to give me another dexterity saving throw.
I rebuke thee.
Does he
In
take
the
half?
name of our Lord.
Yeah, he takes half.
So
Except
he would
he
take.
doesn't, because
contagion.
Because contagion.
Yeah.
So he takes 5. He takes 5.
Technically,
if you take half the damage that he would have taken,
mm-hmm.
right? Multiplied by 2 brings it back up to 5, so it's still 5.
Okay. All right, so
half damage doesn't exist.
And then
basically, yeah, it's all there. All right.
And then I'm gonna cast Magic Missile at 5th level.
So you would have used your reaction at the end of his when he struck you.
At the end of his turn.
Immediately. So this is your turn.
Yeah.
At the start of your turn, it does not. It's just concentration to maintain the spell for immolation. So your action is to cast Magic Missile. Gotcha.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
At 5th level.
Okay, go for it.
Seems excessive, but whatever.
It has me in its talons. I am being crushed underneath its weight, and you want to tell me it's excessive?
Oh, it's on the ground now?
Yes!
Yeah.
It landed.
Fantastic.
I was gonna deal with it, but whatever.
From underneath, you reach your hand out, the missile's pumping forth, and they just slam into the underbody. You can watch as the bodies rock, the feathers ripping apart and tearing. You can see the skin underneath it, this kind of a bluish gray. Each one of them tears out more. Eventually, you hear it give out, and it kind of shudders and starts to fall to the ground.
Hopefully not onto us.
No, it kind of falls onto its side. It unclenches its fist, and you roll easily from its hand.
Does Grimly roll the other direction since he was still on it?
Yeah. As it falls, it gives out one mighty caw. This gigantic cry.
Bye-bye, birdie.
Is it dead?
Oh, it is quite.
I'm taking lots of those blue and purple feathers.
Yeah,
you gotta realize.
Say, part of me was hoping that was kind of out because I do have a spell in my staff called Awaken. I could make this thing my mount.
No. No awakening this thing. Leave it dead.
It had 20 HP. She did 29 damage.
Technically she
did 58
50
points.
Something, yeah.
So either way,
it real dead.
It did.
Oh wait, that's right. Awaken only affects things up to. I was seriously hoping I could do it before you did inflict wounds. That would have been a nasty amount of damage with that crit. That would have been 4 times.
Callisto's just gonna get to her feet, brush off her clothes,
and
then walk over to Gillet and ask for that drinking horn. And then, as soon as it's in her hand, she is draining the entire thing.
She's just got one of those things where she's good at tipped. She's just got a finger out. Just keeps swallowing.
Glug, glug, glug.
Yep. That's exactly it. That's exactly it.
Thirsty bitch.
And then she hands it back to Gillet and just rests her forehead against his chest like, God damn it.
Anybody?
I'm pulling out handfuls of feathers.
Pat.
I want a feather too.
You have to understand, this is gargantuan. This beast is gargantuan. It's covered in feathers. How big do you believe those feathers are?
Is it the size of me?
Like, bigger than you.
I want just space feathers. So they're a little smaller.
If you do want something made from it,
give me the biggest feather.
I do have cunning artisan.
If you guys want to take
like 4 times your size.
Can you make me a sweet coat? Thanks.
Grimly,
actually,
you have 4.
Technically, he could.
Technically, I could. Yeah.
Oh my God, Jack's gonna wind up looking like Eileen the Crow.
Listen, Maybe that's my goal. You don't know me. You don't know my journey.
So
You know
I
what?
do.
Actually, we still have like an hour before our rest is over. Technically,
technically, you could use your.
I'm gonna go ahead and use Cunning Artisan.
Okay.
On the
what
rock.
can you craft in that time period?
The ability specifically states shield, a club, a javelin, or 1d4 darts, or blowgun needles, but considering this is a gargantuan-sized creature, or I'm not sure what else he could potentially make
I will
out of something
say
the
that-
size of a small town.
If you not that big, but still. If you would like to, matter of fact, hang on a second. I would say that if you want to take the resources with you to make something more, like a cloak or something like that from the feathers, that you could do so, but only over a course of time. Does that make sense?
He does have leatherwork tools, so good.
Right. I'm just saying it would take you more than an hour. It would take you several sessions.
I'm saying is he will go ahead and make another javelin out of a bone.
All right. Just to give you a real quick idea. Gargantuan creatures can stand anywhere between 32 to 64 feet tall, weighing anywhere from 16 to 125 tons. They take up a 20-foot square of place and have a 15-foot reach. They are long and 20-foot. It reach if they are long and 20-foot reach if they are tall. So basically, this was more tall than long. So basically, it could reach 20 feet. It didn't need to get near you to grab you. Anyways,
yeah, it's one thing I like about it. It's like
I'm
harvest,
also
bone and hide.
What were you saying?
Arneth is also attempting to cut some chicken out of it.
Okay, so basically you're going to try to scavenge meat. Give me a survival.
I'll help with that. I like that.
And I will guidance that.
All right, so you have advantage and you have a D4 additional.
Survival?
Uh-huh. And roll 1d4 and add that. Okay, so 18. You're able to cut free several pounds of this meat out of there.
I'm super excited to make breakfast.
One of the things that I do miss about second edition and their monsters manual is that it had an ecology section for each one of them. Like it would tell you what you could scavenge from the creatures to give and sell, and what was basically you could sell the feathers from these for parts. You could harvest this stuff and sell them so that you could actually go farming for mats to sell.
That's awesome.
Yeah, Zion's gonna harvest like feathers and hide and stuff like that.
Go ahead and give me a survival check.
Survival.
Mm-hmm.
Going to also guidance myself for that. Survival. 18.
Okay. You're able to scavenge and collect enough feathers to make at least a couple of different. It's all going to be show pieces or wear pieces, but definitely enough to make some for 2 or 3 members of the party, depending on who it is.
Who's typing?
So yeah, and also he's going to be using Cunning Artisan. If we have an hour.
Sure. Go ahead and use Cunning Artisan to gather up what you need. You have enough feathers that it would actually start to become a little bit weighty. You can lay them out and lash them down so that you can keep them. And you can fix the brads on them later on, so you're not having to damage them. You also come away with several pieces of good bone to use for clubs or for other implements if you'd like to, especially a shield stretching some of the hide because it's pretty tough hide. that you can stretch over it to make like a hide shield.
Yeah, he's actually going to use that hide to put on his wooden shield.
Awesome. And it doesn't increase yours, but it looks pretty interesting because it has that kind of a blue-gray hue to it.
Hey, it matches the scale colors.
Yeah, it kind of does. You do start a process of making a cloak by basically doing like the scale mail technique where you have a line that comes across of sinew, and then you run the feathers in layers, then a layer underneath there so that they have this kind of staggered look to them. But the whole thing looks this beautiful hue transition from like the red to purple to blue. And it's looking like it's going to be quite beautiful when it's all said and done. All right. You guys rest for the last bit of time. As you were already in there, you can spend hit dice, but it would be considered a short rest and not a long rest. If anybody would like to spend hit dice.
Never.
Okay.
That's it.
I'm mostly looking at the two people that got smacked. All right.
No, I'm missing 7 HP. I'm not too worried about it.
Okay.
Well, like, I'm not down by much. I'm only at 77 of 94.
Okay. So,
Yeah,
all right.
Nah, I'm okay.
All right. Then you finally find your way through the other side. And as the grass that's been, like I said, mostly this way, it's like scrub grass and things, starts to give way to slow rolling hills that eventually give way to even more higher peaks in the hills and lower little dips and valleys. It's not mountainous, but you know that you're getting very much closer to Adalar, the town, as you can see the mountains dip in the river that is to your north. Get a little bit closer to where you are. Continuing on this way, you can finally start to top the crest of one of the hills. You don't see Adalar in the distance, but you know you're getting very, very close. Telltale signs of your adventures here in the past give way. And as the night falls, you don't really see much in the way of activity or life that seems to be any threat to you. So the travel this time of day is actually pretty easy, but it's, again, if it weren't for the fact that you had your party with you, it'd be kind of lonely. There's not a track here or a path. You're following the fact that you're far enough inland and going in the right direction given Arneth's skill to draw closer to the town. You will need to camp again outside underneath the stars.
I'm not complaining.
How terrible.
Excellent. This night, if you want to take watches, you can, but this night passes, I'll tell you right now, no incident as you guys go through. Callista, are you still going to be the last one to take watch?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Throughout this journey, Science is going to keep working on the filmmaking.
You get closer to being accomplished the tasks that you have set yourself to do. The second and third one will be probably pretty easy to get done now that you've got the first one. It's like getting the prototype out of the way is the hard part, and then it's easy from there.
So has he finished the first one?
I will say that given that you work on it overnight and as you're going a little bit here and there, yeah, I'll say that at the end of the second night out, you have finished the first of them. And you can present it to whomever you would like to.
Do it. He is going to walk over to Evir.
Okay.
And he will hold it out and just go, as thanks for your invitation and apologies for what trauma I have caused to you. And he'll present the rock feather cloak.
It's long enough that it trains behind you a little bit.
I'm looking extra.
And it goes from the red that was originally around its head to the blues into the purples. And so red to purple to blue, transitioning down to where these dark blue feathers, almost a royal blue, trail behind you, as befitting your noble birth. it is not. It's not super flexible, but it does kind of give a little bit of protection.
Okay.
Because of the fact that the feathers are heavier and denser than most other bird feathers, you will actually get a +1 to your AC, as if a cloak of protection were wrapped around your shoulders.
Nice.
If you use if you use persuasion, you get a +1 to persuasion, as because you have this regal cloak of feathers on you. So
nice.
You can write down there and write in the stats and adjust accordingly. You will, please.
Sure. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
+1 peacock.
I guess. Honestly, you're not wrong. You're really not.
You just know Yenfear is going the whole time, like wrapping it around and then going, letting it fall.
Hello, I've arrived. Hello, mother. How nice to see you again.
It's Yzma whenever she walks in and she throws it around her shoulders. It's just, but it doesn't move real fluid, so it's like.
It smacks somebody off to the side, knocks them over.
Grimly stumbles. Ow!
I love it.
It's even better when when Yennefer gets home to his mom with his brand new cloak, and just holds it up real close to his face for a second before just letting it drop, and it's just like, "Why, hello, mother. It's me, Yennefer."
And she's like, "Oh no."
And she's like, "Oh God, who gave him that?"
They should know better.
Well, why would they do something like this?
Just on a balcony somewhere, there's an owl just like watching. It's like.
Was that Anastasia? That was like.
Yeah.
It's me.
Anastasia.
Anastasia.
Anastasia. Oh God.
Right.
Yeah, he'll accept Ian's things. Just nod of his head. It actually looks like he's a little bit uncomfortable getting thanked, like as he's very much not used to that reaction. So it's like this is new to him, being thanked like that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Day breaks, and you guys set off along your way. Your supplies are getting a little low. Well, no, I take it back. You have like 15 pounds of chicken.
Not only that, but they have an Outlander.
Smoked chicken.
Let's say which Zion may or may not be gnawing on.
You look over and there's.
Honestly, Grimly loves that.
Grimly and Callista are both Outlanders, so literally
Yeah.
can't ever run out of food unless there's no food to be had around.
I forgot. What did you go with for the background for Zion?
Hermit.
That's right.
His
Outlander
is something
isn't Arneth
very
an
much
Outlander
tied
too?
into the story.
Wait,
Yeah.
we have three?
Outlanders.
We never run out of food. Ever.
Oh my God.
Always be.
Oh my God, Chief, it's Tuesday night all over again, except with
Wait.
Outlanders instead of Rangers.
Wait. Gillet? What's your background?
Acolyte?
Okay. Okay. I swear to God, for some reason I thought you were going to say Outlander, and I'm like,
I went with Outlander Guide.
it's a noble and 3 Outlanders, a
And I
hermit,
went
and an acolyte.
Outlander Exile.
This is fantastic.
I think I'm a hunter-gatherer.
All right.
So.
As you finally crest the top of one hill, you look down and see the town of Adelaide. It seems sleepy for this time of day. Not a whole lot of activity going on. As you come down to the side of the next hill and over the next one, thinking every step is just bringing you closer to some place that you can rest for the night. You crest the final hill and you look down and you see Adelar once. The street opening up, the road heading south, and then north towards Reedsong. And I would like for everyone to give me perception checks, please.
Perception.
That wasn't supposed to be
Quick question
disadvantaged, but whatever.
for the DM. Adelar is the place that's tied into my background feature. Yes.
The kingdom may be, but the town is not.
Okay.
The town.
I remember we were discussing that, and I'm like, which place would he react to the most?
The town doesn't mean anything to him.
Okay.
Because basically the story is that there was once a mighty kingdom that fell, and no one knows really the history behind it because it was kind of lost to time. There was a town that cropped up that's named after it. Doesn't have any import to him.
Zion is too busy working on these cloaks, man.
There you go. V, Callista, and Yennefer. So Grimly, Callista, Yennefer.
Still got lower than both people who crit failed.
It's kind of sad.
Yeah, it is.
And you're a monk. Your wisdom is supposed to be like your stat, dude.
Well, actually,
I put it all in dexterity.
Let's say, actually, my passive is an 18, so
it's a situation. We had this conversation earlier in another channel.
Okay.
So passive versus active. Passive is you're in an environment that you are familiar with. It may not be the city you grew up in, but it's a city that you kind of know how the flow of a city works.
Okay.
New York and Chicago are very different, but there's something similar about those big cities that you can walk around and you just kind of in your back of your mind passively know to look for things. That homeless guy that's sitting over there, the busker that's across the street, where the signs are to lead to the L or whatever train you're looking for.
The guy that had a sign that said, "Help, my weed burned up in a series of small fires."
There you go.
Totally.
Active perception checks would be in an environment or a situation where you're not necessarily familiar with it, but there's something that sets you off, and so your brain goes, I need to look and see what stimuli is causing this activity. Especially if you think about dungeons where around every that might be a trap or there might be a monster, and so your brain is constantly on the observation mode where you're darting back and forth, and that's based on your perception, not your investigation where you're actively looking at something. So that was the conversation we had earlier because that came up, and it was like, how do you use the difference? Is one of them like the benchmark for it? And I was like, no, you actually could be less observant in a situation where you're actively trying to watch for stimuli because your brain is trying to focus on things. So, all right. However, that being said, as you get closer to the town, those of you who are familiar with it recognize immediately that there is something amiss. Grimly, you're used to human towns, or at least the activity that's associated with them.
Being sneaky.
You avoid them, generally, because there are big folk around who don't like goblins.
He's like holding on to somebody's pants.
But what strikes you odd here is that the number of big folk for the town seems to be a lot less than you would expect. Callista, you've been here once before. Yennefer, you've been here a couple of times.
Yep.
The mayor's building sits in the same crossroads from where the artisans' house is, and you see the merchants, the guild hall, the merchant guild hall, and the open market. The open market seems a bit out of use, so to say. The few people that are there, the crops do not look healthy. They look puny. They look as though what they scraped might have been the barrel end of, the other good crops. This looks like the dredges. The door to the mayor's office stands open, but you don't see anybody moving about. And only one small fire seems to be puffing from the artisan's house, the artisan's guild hall, where normally you would see billowing smoke from the forges and things like that. The trade hall, the merchant's guild, seems to be dark. You don't think it's been lived in or moved upon for some time. This is not the town that you saved. This is not the town that you saw even the last time you were here. Where do you want to go to first?
Well, there's the mayor's
Does anybody remember the mayor's name?
Absolutely not.
The dude.
You don't.
What's his name?
Bob. Barden.
Grimley.
Barden.
You are correct. Barden Wainwright. Yes, good job.
I got the B.
I had it written down.
Good job.
La-di-da. Whoop-de fucking do. You
Well,
know
if
how to
somebody
write.
took
Congratulations.
If somebody took notes.
It has two different characters.
Honestly.
All right. You make your way to the mayor's office. As you step inside, you see a figure sitting behind the desk. He doesn't seem to be in quite the... If you remember the last time you saw him, he was muscular, filled out. He looks tired and haggard. His muscles hang on his frame, but you can see that they're starting to slip away. His form looks diffused. As he sits there, he looks up. His hair, which was starting to go a little thin, is even thinner now. But it is definitely Barden Wainwright. Heavy bags hang under his eyes as a tired look is on his face. He spots you and immediately he starts to smile. Something he probably, from the look of it, hasn't done in a long time. He stands to his feet and he says, It seems you've come at the right time. As though something were guiding you here. This is the third time now that you've come to our home, to our hour of need. I'm starting to think something's weaving fate in your direction. It's dark times here in Adler. We're hopefully glad to see you. Although you seem as though you've picked up a few and lost a few.
What's happening here?
Zine just stoops as he steps into the room.
I cannot sleep. It's not the dreams of the hag that wants me. It's something else, a form in the darkness that stops me from sleeping. It taunts me. It calls my name. Stands me before a precipice. Beckons me to step in before I can stop myself. I'm fallen, and I awaken, tumbling from my bed. Only to fall asleep and do it all over again. The crops have gone bad. There's not much use for any of them. The Merchants Guild all but left me. Town is in desperate need. People are starting to leave.
It might be for the best.
He kind of hangs his head as you say that. I'm no better a leader than any of the others that are before me. Look at what's happened to my town.
I don't think it's you. I know it's not you.
Zine will look at the party. I'll say, you all have some sort of investment in saving these soft skins.
They all show you their writ of adventure.
Yeah, it's literally our job.
Literally their job.
Then he'll look up at the mayor and say, then I can go to the fields and have your crop issues settled in a day or two.
Aye. You keep strange company these days.
No stranger than normal.
He's done right by us so far.
Well,
I know it's odd to have lizard folk around your crops again, but
well, if he's a friend of yours, then he's welcome here. We're not in a position to turn away help of any kind. Are you still hiding behind somebody's leg there, Grimly?
Is either that, or if there's something around the room that he can pick up and play with, he's probably doing.
Oh, he is a little child.
Not really. I mean, there's a couple of chairs in front of the desk, and beyond that, he grabs a chair and push it, and then turns around and pushes it back the other way. Turns around and pushes it across.
Oh my! Scream!
Just a large version of the executive toy.
Grimly, can you stop the adult to talk?
Except Grimly is an adult.
They don't know.
He's just got.
They don't know.
He's got a mentality.
We have no idea.
I see a short person and
it's a child.
That's racist. Or ageist,
How
I guess?
is that? How is that? Is it Hydus?
Hydus? Yeah.
It's Aegis.
Maybe.
Really? Well,
Aegis is a shield of protection. Anyways,
Yes, but I said ageist, not ageist.
delete your account, Cap.
He doesn't have photo frames in this room or anything like that. I just ask for the sake of that.
So no, there's. It seems sad.
Oh. And I'm still hiding behind somebody.
Who?
Probably either Arneth or Gillet.
Okay.
Probably Arneth, because Arneth is taken quite quickly.
You're just hiding in Arneth's cape?
Behind a leg, yeah.
Between the legs and the capes.
Your friend offers to help the crops. I'm not one to turn down the help. What'd you say?
So depending on how many cloaks he could have finished before we made it to Adelar, Arneth and Arneth and Grimly would have one too.
Arneth looks a lot. Yeah, Arneth looks a lot like Yenfear's, but it's the gray blue to the purple. And by the time Grimly, the feathers you have left, Grimly's is mostly gray blue to the blue.
They were the ones that Zine noticed were affected the most.
You will get a +1 to your AC from the toughness of the feathers.
Oh.
As long as you wear the cloak, so.
Okay.
All right. He thanks you heartily for your assistance. He tells you where the crops that are most affected are, and he says it seems to be to the south, more to the east than the southeast. So almost in the direction you guys came from. You guys kind of came up from the southeast. It would have been out the eastern side of the fields. So you guys came up this way. They would have been north of where you came up at it. He says we've not much to offer in the way of accommodations, but we'll give you the night at the tavern. Can't afford to pay for the meals, but they need the money. If you could.
Have you considered leaving Adelar for a little, just to maybe get some actual sleep?
No, I couldn't leave my people. This is my home. I not leave them. I understand where you're coming from, but I couldn't do them.
I mean, if you're being affected,
think of just some light kidnapping, or
what'd you say?
Just a little kidnapping.
Just a little kidnapping, just a mile or two out of town. Drop him off. He thanks you again for your help, and he sits down and kind of puts his head in his hands. As you leave and make your way across the town to the tavern.
Oh, what time of day is it?
It's still probably about midday or so.
Do I theoretically have 8 hours?
Yeah, absolutely.
Zion's gonna head.
Sorry, what's that? You cut out just a little bit.
He's gonna head for the fields.
Okay, you're gonna head out to the fields. Anybody else want to go, or you guys want to go to the tavern?
Cap, I'd like to try something.
Sure.
And I want to run it by you before.
You want to shoot me a message?
We do the thing. So detect magic normally can't be cast at a higher level. I would like to use a level 4 spell slot for detect magic to increase its range. Basically, sit in the center of town, and it's 30 feet, and increase it by 30 feet for every spell slot. So
you would get it 4th level 30.
120 feet. Would be
you know
total.
what? Yeah, why not?
Okay. I'm going to go sit in the center of town and concentrate on this and cast Detect Magic at 4th level.
Okay. Keep in mind that it will only show magic for those things that you can see.
Yeah.
So, as you sit in the middle of town and then cast your eyes about.
Well, basically I'd cast it at 4th level and then kind of move down the major streets to see if I'm catching anything. Around. Yeah. But I want to catch the biggest range of space as I can.
You make your way through town, up the main street and back down, going down the 2 main side streets to the edge of town and back. Nothing is casting about as magical that you can see. Unfortunately.
Unless these places are all made out of more than 3 feet of wood, I would actually still be able to see inside of the houses.
Okay.
I'll toss this up for you.
Sure.
The spell can penetrate most barriers, but is blocked by a foot of stone, an inch of common metal, a thin sheet of lead, or 3 feet of wood or dirt.
Okay. Give me just 1 second here, guys.
And I don't have to see it. It's a presence of magic around me.
Okay.
It's then using my action to see a fate aura.
I got you. Nothing in this immediate area through the town gives you any indication that there is magic.
Okay. Beyond the stuff that my party already has.
Correct, yeah.
Okay. And then I'm going to go ask Spartan if anybody has moved to town recently.
As you all should be shifted to the map for Adalar here in just a moment.
Must have tried my character.
It's alright, I'm trying to move everybody's character around and things. And...
You're good.
So, you ask him if anybody has moved to town recently?
Yeah.
He shakes his head. He says, no, seems to be nobody. The only thing that's happened even recently is Caravan moved up through town probably about a month ago, heading north. They stayed a night and then they left.
Where did they stay?
In their own wagons. Big covered things.
Where were the wagons?
North of town. Just outside.
Okay.
As the rest of you are heading out towards the fields to the east.
Mm-hmm.
And Callista, are you going to make your way up to where the wagons were?
Yeah.
Okay. And that is where we're going to go ahead and call it tonight.
The plot chickens.
Heading towards the fields, and once more, Adalar seems to be... You're drawn inextricably towards this town, this fate that seems to be pulling you here. I would love to give a huge thanks once again to V, who carried us through the first half, and then to Maddie, as always, who helped carry us through the second half and got us back up there and running. Thank you both so much, V. We know we dropped it on you pretty quick, and so what you were able to put together is fantastic.
Sink or swim, bitch!
Again, we want to thank Arneth, Callista, who is played by Maddie, Grimly, played by V, Zyne, played by Eric, me, the DM, Captain Sack, Gillet being played by Steve. Gosh, what is your name again? Gillet being played by Steve, and Yenfear, who is being played by Jack. Thanks again. My name is Heath. I'm the DM for Dire Bear. We'll be back Wednesday. Yes, we'll be back Wednesday with Brobots Binary Heroes. I promise you we'll be back Wednesday. I had something go down last Wednesday and I just couldn't do it. So, but we'll be back. Other than that, wish us some warmth. We are going to get snow, not like Steve probably has, but still some snow. And 7
Really,
o'clock
Cap?
on.
You're gonna get
7
snow?
o'clock? Not like you got snow. But, you know, hey, we're not equipped for it down here. We're like, snow, we fall apart.
We don't know what we're doing.
I don't know what this is. This stuff, it doesn't fall to the ground.
And you know what? None of us can really complain because Jack's had snow since October.
It's true.
Yeah, so,
Disgusting.
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 It truly is.
I love the snow.
The snow. I love the snow myself, but I'm still trying to figure out how everybody's making milk bread sandwiches because that's like the first thing that flies off the shelf is milk and bread. And I'm like, what kind of weird toast are you having? Shittiest cereal ever.
Like I checked the store. I checked the store this morning at like 10 a.m. Everything was gone except like skim milk and 1%. Everything else was gone.
Yuck.
Milk wise, yeah. I was like,
Well,
what is with you people?
With the thoughts of milk bread sandwiches, we're going to go ahead and call it a night. Thank you all for watching and tuning in with us and hanging out. We'll see you Wednesday. And if not, we'll be back next Monday. And take care of yourselves, guys. We love you. Thanks a lot. Take care.